In the depth of winter, when the vast majority of the northern hemisphere's flora has retreated into dormancy, there is a tree that defies the rhythm of the seasons. While other canopies are bare and gray, this tree is a riot of life. It performs a biological paradox, holding both its delicate, bell-shaped white blossoms and its heavy scarlet fruit at the exact same moment. It is a relic of a different time, a plant that survived the glaciations of the Ice Age by finding refuges in the Mediterranean and, inexplicably, on the wild, wet coasts of Ireland. It appears on the coat of arms of a major European capital, yet its fruit is virtually absent from modern markets. The Romans named it with a warning, Unedo, or I eat only one, a phrase that history has misinterpreted for 2,000 years. This is not a strawberry, and it is not a commercial crop. It is the Arbutus Unedo, the strawberry tree. It is a master of resilience that thrives in poor, acidic soils where agriculture typically fails. It produces one of the rarest and most medicinal honeys in the world, and its fruit contains an antioxidant profile that rivals the most celebrated superfoods. Why did a tree that provides food in the hunger gap of winter, wood that burns hotter than oak, and medicine known to ancient herbalists fall into obscurity? Today, we peel back the layers of folklore and botany to rediscover the strawberry tree. To walk through a grove of Arbutus Unedo in November is to step into a strange, suspended reality. The tree itself is a work of art, a rugged, evergreen shrub that can grow into a substantial tree, reaching heights of up to 10 meters in ancient specimens. Its bark is a rich, peeling terracotta, shedding in thin strips to reveal the smooth, cinnamon-colored wood beneath. But it is the canopy that commands attention. Most fruit trees operate on a strict, linear schedule. They flower in spring, leaf out in summer, and fruit in autumn. The strawberry tree operates on a compounding cycle. It takes a full 12 months for its fruit to ripen. This means that the flowers blooming today will not become edible fruit until this time next year. Consequently, in late autumn and early winter, the tree carries the current year's red harvest and next year's white promise simultaneously. The fruit itself, the arbutus, is a globous berry, roughly 2 centimeters in diameter. Its surface is rough, covered in tiny conical bumps, transitioning from yellow to orange to a deep crimson red as it softens. Inside, the flesh is amber, creamy, and mealy, with a flavor that is elusive to describe. Sweet, slightly sour, with hints of apricot, guava, and a distinct woody aftertaste. Despite its common name, it is botanically unrelated to the strawberry, Fragaria. It belongs to the Ericaceae family, making it a cousin of blueberries, cranberries, and heathers. This lineage hints at its specific needs. Like its cousins, it demands acidic soil and has a complex relationship with soil fungi. For centuries, this tree was a staple of the peasant diet in southern Europe and a curiosity in the British Isles. It requires no irrigation once established, resists fire through a specialized root burl, and supports a vast ecosystem of pollinators when few other plants are blooming. Yet you will not find arbutus berries in your local supermarket. You will rarely see products made from them outside of artisanal markets in Portugal, Sardinia, or Corsica. In this episode, we will traverse the history of this winter tree. We will examine the mystery of its disjointed native range, the Lusitanian element that baffles botanists. We will analyze the nutritional chemistry that makes the fruit a potent ally for health, and we will uncover why modern agriculture left it behind and why we should bring it back. The story of Arbutus Unedo begins deep in the geologic past. Fossil pollen records indicate that this species was widespread across Europe during the warmer interglacial periods. As the ice sheets descended, the tree retreated to refuges in the Mediterranean basin and the Iberian Peninsula. However, a remnant population survived, or migrated, to the damp, mild climate of southwestern Ireland. This disjunct distribution, where a plant is native to the sunny Mediterranean and the rainy Emerald Isle but nowhere in between, is known as the Lusitanian flora mystery. In human history, the relationship with the strawberry tree is ancient. The fruit has been consumed since the Neolithic era. Archaeological excavations in prehistoric sites across the Mediterranean have yielded carbonized arbutus seeds, suggesting it was a gathered staple long before the domestication of wheat. By the time of the Roman Empire, the tree was well known but viewed with a complex mixture of reverence and dismissal. The most famous historical reference comes from Pliny the Elder in his encyclopedic Naturalis Historia, circa 77 AD. Pliny referred to the fruit as Unedo, derived from the Latin unum edo, I eat one. For centuries, scholars interpreted this as a critique of the flavor. The fruit was so bland or unappealing that after eating one, you wouldn't want another. However, modern ethnobotanists and historians propose a different interpretation. The fruit is delicious when perfectly ripe, but it can be intoxicating if overripe due to natural fermentation, and it can cause mild indigestion if consumed in massive quantities due to its tannin content. Pliny's "I eat one" may have been a warning of moderation or perhaps a comment on the fruit's richness rather than an insult to its taste. Moving into the Middle Ages, the tree became a symbol of political identity. If you look at the coat of arms of Madrid, the capital of Spain, you will see a bear reaching up to eat red berries from a tree. That tree is the madroño, the strawberry tree. The symbol dates back to the 13th century, representing the dispute between the Council of Madrid and the clergy over the use of local lands. The council secured the forests and the wood and game, while the church took the pastures. The bear and the tree represent the forest's bounty. To this day, the finest liqueur in Madrid is licor de madroño, made from these very berries. In Ireland, particularly in County Kerry and Cork, the tree is known as the Killarney strawberry tree, or caithne in Irish. Here, historically, it was not just a food source, but a vital fuel. The wood of Arbutus produces an intensely hot charcoal, which was prized by silver and goldsmiths for smelting fine metals. If the Arbutus Unedo is historically significant, ecologically resilient, and produces edible fruit, why has it been lost to the modern food system? The answer lies in the rigid demands of industrial agriculture, specifically regarding three factors: transportability, ripening consistency, and processing difficulty. The primary enemy of the strawberry tree berry is time. A commercial apple can be picked, stored in cold storage for 12 months, and shipped halfway around the world. An arbutus berry is radically different. When the fruit is firm enough to transport, it is yellow and astringent, practically inedible due to high tannin levels. When it is fully ripe and red, sweet and creamy, it is incredibly soft. It bruises under its own weight. Once picked, a ripe arbutus berry has a shelf life of roughly 24 hours before it begins to ferment or collapse. It is impossible to mechanize the harvest or crate ship the fruit to supermarkets. Modern orchards are bred for synchronous ripening. A farmer wants to send a crew through the orchard once or twice to strip the trees. The strawberry tree, however, ripens its fruit progressively over several weeks or even months in the winter. A single branch may hold flowers, green unripe berries, yellow semi-ripe berries, and red fully ripe berries all at once. To harvest arbutus, one must visit the tree every few days, hand-picking only the crimson fruits. This high labor requirement makes it economically unviable for large-scale monoculture. We must also address the flavor profile. Modern palates have been trained on hyper-sweet, high-sugar fruits like the Cavendish banana or the Fuji apple. The arbutus berry has a more subtle, complex profile. It is mealy, similar to a pear or a lush apricot, but with a gritty texture from the skin and seeds. The sugar content varies wildly depending on the weather and soil. If eaten unripe, it is unpleasantly sour. Because few people today know how to identify the perfect moment of ripeness when the fruit starts to soften and darken slightly, many try a firm red one, find it insipid, and never try again. While the tree is not extinct, its habitat is fragmented. In the Mediterranean, coastal development for tourism has wiped out vast swaths of the maquis shrubland where Arbutus thrives. In Ireland, the invasive rhododendron ponticum outcompetes the native Arbutus, choking out the seedlings and preventing regeneration. The old groves are aging, and without active protection and clearing of invasive species, the wild populations are slowly diminishing. Modern agriculture abandoned the strawberry tree because it refused to behave like a commodity. It cannot be standardized, boxed, or hoarded. It demands to be eaten fresh, locally, and in season, concepts that the industrial food chain spent the 20th century trying to eliminate. While the industrial food system rejected the strawberry tree, modern science is finding reasons to embrace it. Research into the chemical composition of Arbutus unedo reveals a plant of extraordinary potency, both nutritionally and ecologically. The berries are exceptionally high in vitamin C. Studies have shown that Arbutus berries contain approximately 180 to 200 milligrams of vitamin C per 100 grams. That is nearly 4 times the vitamin C content of an orange. Furthermore, they are rich in dietary fiber and possess a high concentration of polyphenols, particularly gallic acid, anthocyanins, and flavonoids. These compounds act as powerful antioxidants. A 2011 study published in the Plant Foods for Human Nutrition journal highlighted that the antioxidant capacity of Arbutus fruit extract significantly reduces oxidative stress in human cells. The presence of beta-carotene and lycopene, the compound that makes tomatoes red, adds to its profile as a fruit that supports vision and cardiovascular health. The leaves of the tree are just as valuable as the fruit. They contain high levels of tannins and arbutin. Arbutin is a glycoside used historically as a urinary antiseptic. In traditional folk medicine across the Mediterranean, a decoction of the leaves was used to treat kidney infections and hypertension. Modern pharmacology validates the astringent and anti-inflammatory properties of the leaves, suggesting potential applications in treating inflammatory conditions. Though, as always, dosage is key, as high tannin intake can inhibit iron absorption. Perhaps the most unique product of Arbutus unedo is its honey, known in Italy as miele bicorbezzolo. Because the tree blooms in late autumn when few other nectar sources are available, bees foraging on it produce a unifloral honey that is incredibly distinct. It is known as the bitter honey. It has a complex, herbal, coffee-like flavor profile that is prized by gourmands and chefs. Scientific analysis of corbezzolo honey has revealed it to be one of the most antioxidant-rich honeys in the world, often surpassing manuka honey in its phenolic content. It has been shown to inhibit the growth of colorectal cancer cells in vitro and possesses strong antimicrobial properties. Because the bees must work in the cold, wet conditions of November to gather the nectar, the yield is low and unpredictable, making it one of the rarest and most expensive honeys on the market. From an environmental perspective, Arbutus unedo is a keystone species for climate resilience. It is a pyrophytic regenerator. While it is not immune to fire, it has a specialized swelling at the base of the trunk called a lignotuber. This structure is packed with dormant buds and carbohydrates. If a wildfire scorches the tree to the ground, the lignotuber activates, sending up vigorous new shoots almost immediately. Furthermore, the tree is drought-tolerant once established. It forms symbiotic relationships with mycorrhizal fungi that allow it to extract nutrients from poor, rocky soils. It prevents erosion on steep slopes and provides critical food for birds and mammals in winter when other resources are exhausted. The strawberry tree stands as a testament to the idea that the most valuable things in nature are often those that refuse to be commodified. It is a tree that feeds us when the days are shortest. It offers medicine in its leaves and wood that warms our hearths. It produces a honey that challenges our perception of sweetness and heals our bodies. In a world facing changing climates, water scarcity, and a loss of biodiversity, the Arbutus Unedo is exactly the kind of plant we need to reintegrate into our lives. It does not need synthetic fertilizers. It needs only a patch of acidic earth and patience. For the permaculture gardener or the food forester, it is an essential layer of the canopy, a zero-maintenance tree that offers beauty and sustenance. For the rest of us, it is a reminder to look closer at the ornamental shrubs in our parks and wildlands. If you are lucky enough to find a strawberry tree this winter, look for the crimson red berry that is soft to the touch. Ignore the ancient warning of eating only one. Taste the complex, mealy sweetness of a fruit that has sustained humans for 10,000 years. In that bite, you are reclaiming a piece of lost knowledge, a flavor that connects the misty coast of Ireland to the sun-baked hills of Greece, and a food source that demands we slow down and eat in rhythm with the seasons. The strawberry tree was never truly lost. It was just waiting for us to remember how to see it.